market recap for 22nd of August 08 2025. So yesterday I said my market bias was us going lower or closing above CE and then going higher. What did we do? Had an inside day and we closed above CE. So for this week basically. So Friday initially I'm gonna be bullish. Right? So that's the main idea for today. I didn't trade it because it's Jackson Hole, second day. And I mean, I don't care about Fed chair, but I was speaking, but it's just Jackson Hole, second day. After I seen the manipulation on Thursday, I was like, I'm good, I'm alright. There's other weeks left, right? But this is how I would trade today if I was trading, right? I did have a paper trade though, I think. I'm gonna check what happened with that. Anyway, I jumped on NQ here because I have too many lines and stuff on my actual trading one. I'll show later. Alright, so now we know that our bias is bullish, right? We'll drop down to 15 minutes and we can see in the 1 minute time frame yesterday when we did this and we didn't close below and start going, if we went high on that was very bullish. But you can see that intraday later on we went down and then we went up, but you can see that when we go down we don't spend too much time down below, which means we're just filling gaps, we're filling stuff down here, right? And to show you that, like, if we go to like a 4 hour, you can see since we made it, we don't close below it, right? Which is very bullish. So doesn't mean like if we close below it in like a 15 or whatever, you really have to look at the whole narrative. How long are we spending time to like judge if we're closing below it or not? Anyway, let's go to a 5 minute muscle map. That makes more sense. So how are we gonna have an expanding day, right? ICT explains this in many ways, but one of the main ways is London being the fake out. London has a characteristic of being a fake out, move. So we can see this is previous daily low, and London starts at 2 till 4. If you want to extend it till 5, but 2 till 4. So if we can see, what are we doing? We're stalling all the way till 2. Right there, 2 a.m. The second 2 a.m. hits, what do? We do this false breakout, get previous daily low, fill the gaps that we need to fill, and then we go straight back up, start closing above, right? What does that say? If you're watching this in London, you already know this is the low of the day, right? You just know that from experience or from just listening to ICT in general, because he does mention this a lot, right? But I don't know, people don't listen or look into it. So this is already the low of the day, right? So more time you're gonna wake up in New York or something like that. What are you gonna look for? Honestly, my easiest advice if you're looking for a long, right, is go on the 15 minutes, find the sell side and find the 15-minute fair value gap, right? It's just the easiest way for these days, right? So from here to here, there's not really a gap. This is just a wick, basically. It's the false breakout. Guys, oh my god, we're gonna go drop lower, we're gonna go for these lows. Nope, go straight back and close, right? So that's bullish. So when does it stall? It stalls down here, right? If you look at like the 1 minute example, it stalls down here. It's generating sell side. So we can see this low, this low, this low, relative equal lows, right? So you have your liquidity, you're bullish, right? So you're gonna look for your 15-minute fair value gap. Okay, don't worry about this. Let's put it to, it's the fair value gap with midpoint, right? You're gonna get the general idea where price is gonna reverse with a 15-minute fair value gap. You're gonna get the general idea where price is gonna reverse, right? So you'd want to see it not close below the lower half, right? So on most time frames, it really depends on it really depends on the gap, but even if it does, like, you have to really check all the other time frames, but you just don't want it to close below, right? This, it closed for like just 1 minute and then went straight back up. That's a more hug to me. That's not actually closing below. We also need to use the relative time frame, right? Most of the time. So if it's 15 minutes, you'll use it 15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, whatever. Regardless, you want to see do this. That would be your entry, right? As like, I don't know, as a like a rule of thumb, you would want to enter like CE. Like just practice this, right? Go on M&Q, find these type of days, and put your stop loss before. It's going to be a set of fair value gaps, right? Because you're not going to know which one all the time. So if you can see there's a gap here, there's a gap here, right? Stop loss below this as an M&Q. And then you would put your TP somewhere high, like something logical, right? So let's say you saw these relative equal highs. That's your TP, right? Something like that. Practice this with an M&Q. You're going to see that it pans out more times than not. If you understand the narrative and you understand that London that day was gonna be London low or high of the day. Anyway, that's for this daily profile. You get the long, you go up there. I took a short up here when I woke up or something on a paper, and then I'm gonna explain why. Right? So if we look at since Thursday, last Thursday, when we're going down, if you're looking at 15-minute time frame, there's not a single 15-minute fair value gap that has like a decent size. I'm not talking about like a 1, 2 tickers, you know. A 15-minute fair value gap that has not been filled, right? 15-minute is just an easy way to see like the gaps, right? Until this one appeared, right? This is what I expected us to fill on Wednesday, but we were so heavy that we went lower, created our own 2022 model down here, and then dropped down, right? Until we hit the target, which was this low. Once we hit this low, the market started like, okay, looking back for gaps, like looking back for buy side liquidity, stuff like that. But from Tuesday, it just wanted this low. Anyway, this was the only gap, right? And if we extend it, we can see on the 15-minute, I can see that we're not closing above it, which confirms to me that's my target for the day, right? But the fact that it went that fast is just crazy. Just look at the manipulation this week. People say they want to trade this, like, what's the point, man? Anyway, to invalidate this idea, it'd be this high, right? Going above it. And even with wicks going above it, it just invalidates the whole thing, because this is a balanced price range above this gap, right? So you would not want this high to be touched at all. So we close, we wick and close below, we wick again and close below, right? That's just telling me we're going down. So if I think it'll be easier to like go on my main chart to explain this. As you can see, here's the sell, right? If we go down to don't worry about all the extra stuff, but if you can see on the way up, when we went up, we go all the way up past the new daily opening gap, hit the CE of the new daily opening gap, and then go all the way up. This green one is the 15-minute fair value gap that I was talking about, and I marked it on Tuesday. So make sure you leave what your annotations on the chart when price comes back to it, because then you don't have to just redo it again. Anyway, we go up, and right now we're on a 1-minute time frame. This whole thing is basically just a wick, right? On the 15 minutes, right? On the 15 minutes is this wick, the highest wick, right? I'm just getting like the quadrants. God, I'm gonna speak. Anyway, I'm looking at it in the 1 minute, and I just want us to go below, right? I just want us to close. The second that we closed, and I think we just went below, I shorted. Stop loss above here. I'm expecting it to go to CE and then drop out. I was going out at that time, and it's paper trade that I don't care about too much precision. I just care about it not hitting my stop loss. So, safer stop loss is just above the high. Just remember this is the 15-minute one. So right there, and then as you can see, price respected the CE initially and then dropped, but quick manipulation or just filling stuff. I mean, this is permissible. You don't want to see it, but for heavy price action, this would start going down, right? And oh yeah, I put the TP somewhere like the furthest that if it really was gonna go down, that's where it would go to, right? But you can see that it's trying to hold price in there, so I just put it there just so for later on I can check where price went and just gauge the max move that I could have had. Anyway, if you drop to the 15 seconds, you can see why price went back up there. Because remember, wicks are gaps. If you keep dropping to the lower time frames, like seconds, you can see it's clearly a big gap, right? So when price filled half of it and then dropped down, that's when it's heavy. But then it goes back up, fills all of it, and then starts dropping down, right? The best fill, the best entry, like if I was actually waiting or something, I would wait to see how we'd react to this gap. But the second that we close like this, I'd expect something like this. Oh, I'd expect this to just break the whole idea and just keep going higher. But then when I see this drops down, fills this gap, and then goes down, you'll find a 15-second fair back. Like, yeah, sure. Like, I haven't seen it, but for sure there'll be one. You see? Drops down, 15-second fair value gap. You take that, and that's your optimal shot. But as you can see, it's in the general area that I showed. So if you don't want to wait, you don't want to wait. But this is the safest bet. Anyway, if we were heavy, if we were gonna go down, we're gonna go down some area down here, right? At least to rebalance. But as you can see, we start going all the way down till 1, right? And all I can think of is this boy speaking out of nowhere for it to go up, because I expected it to just start slowly going down, which normally happens on this day. But this guy starts yapping, and then it changes. Starts yapping. So anyway, about that. Okay, so this would be the maximum range, but he starts yapping, markets get held, and yeah, that would have been the trade. The thing down to here is, can I not close it? Regardless, I think around here be 2k max that you'd get if you're going for the shorts. If you're going for the long, your play would have had to be pre-market, not 9:30, pre-market, maybe somewhere at London. Or if you really know what you're doing, it'd be a turtle soup entry, realistically, at 9:30. But that's risky. Or an entry at the breaker. Right? Either way here, I'm guessing there's a breaker, low, high, lower, low. This area, when price goes up, you could buy here. And you could buy here. I'm guessing if best bet is looking for a unicorn, right? The fair value gap in the breaker, you just buy that. That's if you wanted to get on the buy move. But are you really gonna buy 10 MUs? And this guy is yapping as well. Like, basically at this point there was no point to trade it. You can see how to trade it. I mean, I showed how you could trade it. You max get like 2k from one contract. It's like 1 to 4. It's not bad, but a lot of precision elements weren't there. Your best bet was getting in on London if you expected it, and yeah, that's just about it. Anyway, that's the recap for this day. Let's end it off for the week, because it's, let me get back to an actual chart that's clear. Okay, that is not clear at all. Let me just point it else. So on a daily time frame, what do I expect for next week? I can see it's creating like, I don't know, a low resistance liquidity run type of lows here with this low, and this low that we could take all the way till this gap down here, right? That's what I'm seeing. I don't know when this will happen, but that's what I'm seeing. I don't know if we're gonna, it all depends on what we do here. If we trade above this high, then it gets a bit questionable and we might start printing all-time highs. But if we keep in our range, and this is just a rebalance, and just to fake out like, ooh, we're going up, everybody's believing it, look, we're not taking these lows, we found support, whatever, and then start dumping it. These relative equal lows were my target, but now I'm extending it to these lows, this low, and mainly this gap. But yeah, you can't know until we trade next week, really, and it depends on how Monday trades. And yeah, that's it for the recap for the weekly on Friday, and peace.